Whether a little uppercut has gone in there that we couldn't pick up, I'm not sure, but certainly they've stopped the flow of blood now, but that blood was just streaming down his eye, and there was no way that fight could continue.
Okay, so there it is. Tom West out of the fight now, and now in the dressing room of Miguel Francia, and he is the opponent tonight for Australia's own Renato Cornett, and it will be a tremendous fight coming up on Sky Channel on our Tui's Fight Night. There is Miguel Francia. Johnny Wright is just checking the taping on the hands at the moment.
Yep, they're just marking the tape up so no more bandage can go over the knuckles, and he looks pretty relaxed and confident in his dressing room, Miguel Francia.
Okay, there he is, Miguel Francia. There's the referee Johnny Wright checking those the taping and then just signing them so no more can be put on. And let's now go to centre ring and Ray Conley.
Ladies and gentlemen, prior to officially announcing the conclusion of the contest, now in the ring, it is a reminder to all of us that there are many sad ironies in life, and those who are willing to sacrifice quite often don't appear to be rewarded. And such might be said about Tom West. 3 weeks ago, when there was the possibility that the pilot's dispute might prevent him from coming to Sydney, he voluntarily undertook to drive here, which he did over a period of 3 days. He has been stopping at the home of relatives in Mount Druitt for the past 2 weeks. He was willing to sacrifice his position in Queensland, so anxious was he to do battle tonight. We certainly very much appreciate his dedication to boxing, and it is tragic that he should be defeated by the misadventure of a cut eye. But he can be assured that boxers like him are to be encouraged, and as soon as the eye mends, he'll be offered another contest here in Sydney. He'll be most welcome. So that officially, the winner in the first round, Baker Kantasi.
The official announcement there, the winner in round one is Baker Kantasi. As Tom West does a backflip, we told you that it'd do one for you, and Tom West certainly did. There's another one from Tom West. He's certainly a very fit man and a former circus acrobat. Let's now go into the dressing room of Renato Cornett. Now there's Renato in the green and gold shorts of Australia, and John Drury, his trainer, mentor. They've worked very hard for this fight. Renato Cornett says he's sick of being a nobody in boxing, and he wants to step out of that area tonight. Well, I would not think that Renato, a person that's represented his country in Commonwealth Games and World Cups and Olympic Games, is far from being a nobody in boxing, but he wants to climb that ladder. He's a young married man with a young family, and he wants to make boxing his game. There in the background is Craig Morty, son of Australia's #1 fight promoter, Bill Morty, and Craig has just got his promoter's license not long ago, and he certainly has worked very hard under difficult circumstances to put this fight together. Listen to Johnny Wright, the referee.
I've asked him, I've explained to him, when I say break, that's what I want. I don't want to have to, people come to watch you fight, not me referee. When I say break, I don't want to have to come in and tear you apart. One step back, don't punch on the break, okay? Keep the punches up. You know the no foul rule, you know the cover eye rule. Any questions? Good luck. Protector on. Good luck. Good luck, John. Good luck. Good luck. Thank you.
Johnny Wright, the referee, just giving the final instructions to Renato Cornett. Moment of truth for Renato coming up very shortly. That's going to head up a tremendous Tui's Fight Night tonight, junior lightweight contest. Miguel Francia from Argentina, their champion, against Renato Cornett of Australia. That's coming your way on Sky Channel right around Australia shortly after this break.
diesel fleet, Caltex have a fuel and lubrication package that can save you heaps. High-Tex diesel and Dello 400 oil. They're like partners, working together to keep your fuel system clean and stretch the time between oil changes. Neat, eh? A fuel and an oil that work like partners, like Dougie and me.
A better oil, a better fuel, working together as they do, means better running costs for you. Yes, they do. That's why we're making changes to everything we do.
A fuel and an oil that work like partners, like Dougie and me.
Let Caltex share the driving with you. I like the north, I like the south, and the East Coast girls really knock me out. But you know what I like the most? Hey, heading on the West Coast, start heading for the coast. See you later, that's on the rail, the refrigerator. Oh, we're gonna let the good times roll. Heading for the West Coast.
Hello, I'm Donny Sutherland. If you've got a fave song or artist, write down the particulars and send them to us now so we can play your favourites on The Jukebox Show. Remember, to get the request played, all you do is write down the song you want, where you'll be watching, who you'll be watching with on the back of an envelope. Then, on the front, send it to Jukebox 81 Frenchs Forest Road, Frenchs Forest, New South Wales, 2086. Whatever you do, don't forget we play all your favourites in The Jukebox Show, seen on Sky twice weekly. That's Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern. See you then.
Welcome back to the Bankstown Sports Club in Sydney, to our Sky Channel viewers right around the country as we're getting ready for the big fight, the main event on tonight's card, and of course that's the bout between Renato Cornett and Miguel Francia from Argentina, and that promised to be an absolutely superb bout. We've seen a sensational night of fighting here. There's no doubt that some of the bouts that we've seen tonight have just been the best possible. You couldn't ask for better action, and we've been very proud to bring it to you tonight on this final Tooheys fight night of the year. At the moment we have some celebrities coming into the ring. We've got the Waters brothers sitting in here and being introduced to the crowd, and that's just a part of the build-up, of course, to what's taking place as we get ready for the big fight. So it's a big night here at the Bankstown Sports Club. Let's now take you to a preview of tonight's main event on the program.
Renato Cornett, an undefeated Australian champion and currently the IBF's 7th ranked contender for the super featherweight crown, has lived in the shadow of his 1984 Olympic teammate Jeff Fennick for many years. But 1989 has seen the career of the young Sydney boxer bloom into a promising future. Thanks mainly to our monthly Tooheys Fight Night, Renato has now become a recognisable face to boxing fans. He possesses good hand speed and an enormous heart, and is perhaps within 12 months of a shot at a world crown. In February of this year in Canberra, he fought the tough New Mexican Benji Marquez and scored a close but well-deserved points decision.
Australia have got another boxing star on the horizon. Renato Cornett.
Then in April, he took on Marcos Villasana's chief sparring partner, Bruno Rabanales, and it was an extremely tough bout for Renato, having been knocked down a total of 4 times. But the 23-year-old showed his true grit as he rallied to a controversial draw.
And he's actually taking the points in this last round.
Bruno Rabanales, 95 points. A draw.
Then in August, he put in the performance of his life when he KO'd world-rated Thomas de Cruz in 8 rounds.
Renato Cornett sensing that round 8 could be the round where he finishes the fight. Cornett now has He's quit. I think he has.
The man he meets is the former WBC International Featherweight Champion, Miguel Francia. In May of this year, Francia travelled to Tasmania, where he took on Tony Mad Dog Miller for the vacant WBC title. Although Miller was relentless throughout, the classy Argentinian gave the former Australian champion a lesson in counter-punching as he cruised to an easy points decision. Now setting his sights on Cornett, he's confident but wary of his opponent.
No te puedo decir antes del combate si es difícil o es fácil. Así que después del combate puede ser que te diga lo que es.
We say that the front might not be more difficult than any other fight. We say that as soon as you get in the ring, then you can see what it's going to be like.
And like any young boxer, Francia has dreams of a world title. That's why a win over Cornett would mean so much.
Peleamos por el título internacional, por el que quiere pelear Cornett. Nosotros ya fuimos campeón, así que ahora trataremos de buscar el título mundial. Así que tenemos que ganar.
He's saying that he has to win because he's looking for the international title, and then he'll go for the world title. So really looking forward to winning this fight.
So Francia will enter the bout full of intensity, looking to upset Renato Cornett's title dreams in favour of his own aspirations.
Well, there we go. That's a look at the protagonist in tonight's junior lightweight international bout here at Bankstown Sports Club. And it's going to be an absolute beauty as we just about get ready now. Yes, coming into the ring, ladies and gentlemen, Miguel Francia is making his arrival. So they're just about ready, and the action will be underway very shortly on this final Tui's fight night of the year. Let's take you now to our commentary desk and Peter Peters.
Thanks very much, Ken. And yes, Miguel Francia, and there's the flag of Argentina, the blue and white, the famous rugby side, of course, the Pumas, and outstanding rugby side, and well, Miguel Francia, they are a great fighting nation, and he looks a very fit customer, Grantley Keyser.
Well, his fight with Tony Miller, of course, Peter, was an indication of his skills. He really boxed very, very well against Tony Miller. He's lost about since then, but Renato Cornett is going to have to fight very, very hard to beat this guy, Miguel Francia. He's an excellent counter-puncher.
Yes, he certainly is. In that fight against Tony Miller, he was a tremendous counter-puncher, and there, right now, behind the flag coming out of his dressing room, there's Renato Cornett of Australia. And what a big moment for this young man, and a very good crowd here tonight. Out towards his home territory, lives in the western suburbs of Sydney, and Renato Cornett, and he sends a very special cheerio to Frank and Bonnie at the Richmond Inn. They're his major sponsors, and they've been staying up at the Dunbogan Caravan Park at Dunbogan, and to Dick and Flora up there from Renato and John Dreary, thank you for the work you for making them feel so much at home during their training camp up there recently. This should be a spectacular contest, and it is going to be one that Renato Cornett hopes to enable him to enter the junior lightweight top 10 in the world in the WBC. Here's the tail of the tape with Grantley Keyser.
Well, Francia is the experienced one of the two. He's 28 years of age, both around the same weight limit. 9 stone 4, of course, was the limit for the bout. Cornett has an inch height advantage and about 4 inches in reach advantage. So Cornett having the aces in his hand as far as his boxing skills are concerned. There's the man he's got to beat, Miguel Francia, very, very experienced. What Cornett has to do is keep that left hand in his face, put a lot of pressure on him, but make sure his defence is tidy so that he doesn't get hit with the counter punches that Tony Miller caught when he fought this man, Miguel Francia.
Okay, Renato Cornett. Renato did improve a ton when he beat Thomas de Cruz at Parramatta Leagues Club in his last fight. His defence was excellent. His punching was very crisp. There's a new aggro about Renato Cornett in his boxing.
He senses that he's very close to big things in boxing. Maybe a Commonwealth title fight, maybe a world title fight sometime in 1990, and he's not about to let that opportunity go. Against Francia tonight, Cornett really has the opportunity to force his way into the WBC top 10. He knows he can make an absolute fortune in a super fight with the likes of Jeff Fennick, or perhaps even one of the other big names in that division as well, the Azuma Nelsons, the Antonio Esparagoses, and there's a very, very determined looking Renato Cornett. Of course, he and Jeff Fennick were teammates at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Both had similar fates over there. They lost controversial bouts which kept them out of the medal contention. Fennick came back and turned his disappointment into 3 world titles. Renato Cornett has yet to win a world championship. He's the Australian junior lightweight champion. He's unbeaten in 18 fights, and now he's playing catch-up boxing.
Well, of those 18 fights, we've seen many of them on Sky Channel over recent months. And this year has been a good year for Renato Cornett. But, of course, one very controversial draw included at Rudy Hill RSL.
Well, that's right. We both felt that Bruno Rabanales had beaten Renato Cornett that night. He had Cornett on the canvas 4 times, but Cornett came home in the late rounds, and he got a draw on the judges' cards. Let's hope that the defence tonight against this man Francia is much better than it was in that Rabanales fight. Certainly Cornett really looked the goods in his last bout against Francisco Thomas de Cruz, who had fought for the World Junior Lightweight title, and Miguel Francia is, I venture to say, a better fighter than Francisco Thomas de Cruz, and much more adept at slipping punches and counter-punching.
Well, Renato's forte is certainly his great fighting heart, and he can absorb a lot of punishment. We saw him get off the floor 4 times against Rabanales and grab a draw. That was indicative of how he fights. There is a new feeling about Renato Cornett, a new feeling that Johnny Drury's worked him harder. He's happier with the weight he is now. He's worked very hard. As you said, he's getting serious. Well, he's always been serious about his boxing, but he really realises that he can make a great life for his young family if he can continue to scale the junior lightweights around the world into the top 10.
Cornett, of course, has a wife and a young child, and he is determined, as he said on many occasions, to give them a really good start in life and to provide a good future for them. And his best chance of doing that is certainly not working as a storeman and packer. It's in the boxing, and that's where he has all the potential. That's where he could one day be a world champion. And tonight against Francia, I think we're going to see a very, very determined Renato Cornett. We've seen a determined Cornett every time on Sky Channel. It was only in that second bout of his against Rabanales that where the defence was very, very shaky, the heart was certainly strong, and that heart is going to carry Renato Cornett a long way in boxing.
Well, Francia's only been in Australia on this trip for around about 4 or 5 days at the most. Now, that could be his biggest problem, although he has been here before. He fought in Tasmania against, of course, Tony Mad Dog Miller.
You know, when he fought Tony Miller, he'd only got off the plane maybe a day before, and he still was feeling pretty jet lagged. So really the long trip I don't think is going to affect Miguel Francia. I think he's going to be in good form, and I just suspect that Renato Cornett is going to rise to the occasion. Francia has only lost 2 bouts in his career against pretty handy opposition, against Sidney Del Rivere, who went on to challenge Azumar Nelson for the world featherweight title in Ghana, Africa, and earlier this year Francia lost to Srikun Narawachi in Bangkok. Only those are the only 2 defeats on a pretty impressive ledger. He's beaten some very, very good fighters.
Well, this is really a milestone for Renato then tonight. I mean, you know, when you mention some of the fighters that he's fought, he's got a tremendous record, and he's fought some of the great boxers in the world, and he fights out of South America, and he's fought several times in Buenos Aires. He's also gone.
He scored 2 victories over Osmar Avila, who I guess had the unfortunate habit of walking into a big left rip from Jeff Fennick and got iced in the first round. But Osmar Avila, a very tough guy from Argentina. This man, Miguel Francia, has beaten him twice. He's been in there with Pedro Decima. He's beaten him. Mario Molina, he's beaten him. Jose Fernando, all very, very competent fighters, and this guy's handled it. Against Renato Cornett, he's facing a man who's before a very vocal home crowd here at the Bankstown Sports Club, and I think they're going to urge Cornett on to what will be the best performance of his career. Certainly in the lead up to this fight, Cornett and trainer John Drury have been talking a great fight. Cornett, of course, was scheduled initially to take on the former world featherweight champion, the dynamic punching Juan Laporte. That fight was called off at the last minute. Laporte couldn't make it to Australia, and really Renato and his trainer were very, very disappointed in that. They didn't care that Laporte was one of the best featherweight punchers of all time. They wanted to be in there with the best. Laporte couldn't make it. This man could, Miguel Francia. He's not a big puncher like Laporte, but he is an excellent boxer.
He certainly is. Okay, we're just about ready to have the introductions, and here he is, ring announcer for the big one tonight, Miguel Francia versus Renato Cornett, junior lightweight contest, top 10 elimination fight, Ray Conley.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you be upstanding to respect the national anthems. Argentina. In cooperation with TUI's, Bill Morty's Classic Promotions presents an international junior lightweight contest scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds from the red corner, scaling 58.97 kilograms, wearing blue trunks with white band and pipings, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, his country's featherweight king, former world reserve featherweight champion, successful in all 5 of his amateur bouts, as a professional, boasts 26 victories, 3 draws in 34 contests. Munificent revelation of Pampean daring, Miguel Francia. And his opponent, also scaling 58.97 kilograms, wearing his country's colours, green trunks with gold band and pipings, from Minchinbury, Sydney, Australia, former 3 times national amateur title holder, Olympic representative at the Los Angeles Games in 1984, undefeated in 18 professional bouts, pulsatingly poised on glory's periphery, national junior lightweight title holder, Renato Cornett. Mastering feudal perception is referee Johnny Wright. Ringside judges John Bailey, Ray Wheatley, Charlie Lucas. Ringside physician, Dr. Lou Lewis. Timekeepers, Johnny Holloway, Ian Goff.
We've been through everything inside. You know exactly what I want, okay? No questions, all right? There's the neutral corner I spoke to you about, the white one and the white one, okay? Shake hands, good luck, protect yourselves at all times.
All the talking over now, all the hard work at training, and what remains is 10 3-minute rounds ahead of them. if it goes the distance. Junior lightweight contest, international junior lightweight contest. Miguel Francia of Argentina against Renato Cornett of Australia.
Cornett straight away is trying to put the jab straight in the face of Miguel Francia, but Francia leaning down, trying to slip that left hand, trying to come underneath.
Cornett, good short right.
Showing no respect for the reputation of this man, Francia. He knows he's got to force the fight right from round one, make sure that Francia can't counter-punch him.
Well, that short right certainly let him know that Renato Cornett is world class. A couple of banging rights there, but Cornett covering up well. That was a big worry with Renato early this year, his defence, but it's improved a ton under his mentor, John Drury.
He's very clever, Francia, but Cornett is putting the pressure on him right from the word go.
Come on, get it.
Good crowd in at the Bankstown Sports Club tonight for our final Tooheys Fight Night of 1989. What a great year it's been, and I'm sure Renato Cornett wants to finish it on a highly successful note for Australia, but he's in there against a very tough and well-performed competitor from Buenos Aires in Argentina, Miguel Francia. Only 2 defeats in a very good career.
Cornett has to shorten that jab up a little bit. He's giving Francia too much time to get underneath it. But to his credit, Renato is kicking those hands very, very high. He's not giving Francia much of an opportunity. But look at the welts coming up on Cornett's back already. Francia is banging those body shots all the way around to Cornett's back. He's going to have very, very sore kidneys tomorrow, Renato Cornett.
Yes, certainly is, and very good defensive work by Renato Cornett. Francia missing with a few, but he does bang hard to the body. Miguel Francia, we've seen that in only half a round of boxing so far.
He's very clever, this man, Francia, but Cornett, he's forcing the fight, he's taking the fight up to Francia, he's keeping his hands very high, he's nice and tidy. Trainer John Drury told me that the big improvement in Renato lately has been his strength. He expects Renato to be very, very strong in this bout.
Okay, well, he's a tough competitor, Francia. He went the distance and beat Mad Dog Tony Miller down in Launceston. And to do that, you've got to be a good boxer. Good right there, but taken well on the gloves by Cornett. He doesn't stop the left and right combination, though, from Miguel Francia.
He's an elusive guy, this Francia. You see the way he's bending down under that jab, coming up with shots over the top, but Renato pouring on a little bit of pressure there. He's looked good in this first round, Renato Cornett.
Certainly has. Good left and right, though, from Francia. He's unperturbed. Shapes to throw the right, then throws the left. There's the right through. Underneath goes Renato Cornett. So he's already worked out the Francia. Well, bending a bit, as Grantley Keys has said, and he's going to try and straighten him up with an uppercut. There's the end of a very good opening round for this international junior lightweight contest. Miguel Francia moving very slowly to the red corner, but a pretty even opening round.
Well, I might have just given that one to Renato Cornett, Peter. I felt that short right hand he landed early, and then he landed another right hand later in the round. His defence was very, very good all the way through. Francia was throwing a lot of punches, but Cornett was picking them all off.
Very fresh-faced boxer from Argentina, Miguel Francia. There's Renato Cornett.
Cornett with trainer John Drury in the corner. I think they would have been pretty pleased with that first round. Certainly Francia proved quite tricky. He was leaning down from the jab. Let's see this on replay. There's Francia coming over the top of the big right hand, but Cornett blocking it and landing a good little uppercut inside. And that shook Francia a little bit. He had a little bit more respect for Renato Cornett after that one landed.
Okay, here we go for round 2. Miguel Francia in the blue and white shorts, his country's colours, and of course in the green and gold of Australia, the young fellow from Mitchenbury in the western outskirts of Sydney, Renato Cornett. 18 fights, 18 wins as a professional, and Renato desperately trying to get into the top 10 with a victory tonight in this international junior lightweight contest.
Both these guys are willing to work inside. Cornett going in with his hands up, and that's what I like to see.
Not overawed, Renato. He's certainly in there to fight tonight, and the Argentinian just slipping as he moves on the back move.
Very cagey guy, Francia, but Cornett keeping the pressure constantly on him, not letting him get set.
Certainly moving up all the time is Renato Cornett. Francia.
I'd like to see Renato try and bring him on to a big uppercut as he's leaning down. I think Francia can be caught with an uppercut as he's leaning down to try and slip the jab. He's working inside. He's prepared to go inside with this man, Francia. He really wants to rock him up in close. Look at him pushing him around, trying to use that increase in strength that John Drury was talking about.
Both boxers weighed in today at 58.97, both of them, so no weight advantage. All the pushing's going to mean hard work.
Cornett had to lose a little bit of weight, but I don't think that will affect him. Certainly, he started this fight very, very competently.
Round 2, International Junior Lightweight Contest on Sky, right around the nation tonight in your favourite pub or club. Hope you're enjoying the action, courtesy of Tui's and Bill Morty's Classic Promotions. Cornett covering up, and Francia taking the lead off Renato Cornett. Cornett missing with a right there as once again that ducking style, the crouching style of Miguel Francia, leading with the left of the body.
Oh, caught him with a good right hand there, Renato. Very fierce action inside. Renato's Cornett's face is very, very red from the
he looks like
housing they've been doing inside.
It looks like a stop sign, but once again, Miguel Francia goes down low. Crouches low.
All down Cornett's back is a legacy of Miguel Francia's body punching that went a little bit astray.
He's certainly a very wily customer, very hard to hit is Miguel Francia. He's no still target, and as I speak, a beautiful bit of evasion. Then comes in with a left, right underneath there, and finds a mark on Renato Cornett. Crouches down low again, and that puts Cornett off of it, and Renato having a lot of trouble working out the Argentinian.
We're in for a really fierce fight tonight, I think, Peter. In these opening 2 rounds, both guys showing that they're not afraid to mix it up.
And the smile coming on Francia's face at the end of the round. Some good left jabs there from Renato Cornett to finish the round. But once again, a very even round, Grantley Keyser.
I thought that round was even. I thought that Cornett was doing some good stuff with that left hand early on, but Francia coming back at him in the closing stages.
The only way you're going to beat him is with 3 punches combination, all right? Yes. You've got to put your combinations together with him, mate, okay? Great, okay? Wipe the food. Hurry up. Wipe the feet. Don't worry. Wipe the feet.
Okay, that was the voice of John Drury in the corner. There's that good right from Renato Cornett that Grantley Keyser told you about. Once again, the crouching style of Miguel Francia makes him a very hard target.
He's a real tricky guy. Renato's going to learn a lot from this fight. I hope he doesn't learn any painful lessons. I feel on what I've seen so far that Renato can get away with Francia. As John Drury was saying in the corner, he'd really like to see Renato get some combinations going. Renato has been trying to just peg him with that jab throughout the first 2 rounds. He's gotten it through occasionally, but I also would like to see him put some more punches together, especially the uppercut, because I feel as Francia is going down, he can be tagged with an uppercut.
Okay, comments, of course, from my co-commentator, Grantley Keyser, one of the finest boxing journalists and commentators in Australia, and Renato Cornett at the moment knows he's got a real fight on his hands against this wily Argentinian Miguel Francia.
Cornett really has been forcing the fight all the way through the first 2 rounds, and again in the third it's Cornett doing all the walking up. Francia, as expected, is trying to sit back and counter punch, but really Cornett's defence has been pretty good so far. Defence has let him down in the past. He's occasionally become a little too cocky, a little bit too sure of himself, but tonight he's staying very, very tidy. Even as Francia claws on, look at Cornett with the hands high, and Cornett coming back.
Cornett coming back strongly, and the uppercut there from Miguel Francia, but Renato Cornett, we know he can take a punch, but this crouching style of the Argentinian is certainly proving a handful in the opening couple of rounds for Renato Cornett.
Well, if Miguel Francia was boxing in Las Vegas, they'd be calling him a cutie, Peter. That's exactly what he is. He knows every trick in the book, and he's trying to use them against Cornett, but Cornett isn't falling into too many of them.
He's using up a lot of energy, Renato, in trying to fight out of those clinches. I just wonder, I know Renato will go the full 10 rounds. We don't know about Miguel Francia, but Francia is certainly a tough customer.
The defence of Cornett again remaining solid. Francia is trying to catch him with a lot of stuff. He's trying to bring him on to big shots, but Renato's keeping both hands high. He's not going to give this Argentinian the opportunity to land a big one.
And Francia dropping the hands and then clouding Renato underneath. Good left from Renato. Cornett finds its mark. Again, the bobbing, weaving Argentinians.
Again, I feel that Renato really should concentrate a little more downstairs, because while that head of Francia's is moving around, the body can't move as well. And it's a much bigger target to aim for. There he puts the right hand in underneath and he pounds Francia on the back. He's given him a spinal tap.
He certainly has. Gets a warning from referee Johnny Rock for his illegal blow there. And Francia didn't complain too much, but he let the referee know that he was doing the right thing. Miguel Francia against Renato Cornett.
He's so slippery, this Miguel Francia. See him moving around on those nimble toes of his. I reckon he'd make a good ballroom dancer. He's certainly made a very, very good boxer out of himself.
He certainly has good footwork.
But again, Cornett not falling into the trap. Francia tried to bring him onto the big right hand over the top there. Renato walked in with both hands high. A lot of wrestling and shoving going on in this fight.
It certainly is a very even contest over the opening 3 rounds, and Miguel Francia certainly is proving a very tough customer for Australia's Renato Cornett.
That's exactly right. He's doing a good job of slipping punches and making Renato miss, but to his credit, Renato isn't being discouraged. He's walking up constantly. He's forcing the fight. And in the corner of Miguel Francia, they must now realise that Miguel Francia has to start winning some rounds. He can't let too many go past, allowing Cornett to do most of the work.
Well, Cornett's certainly the aggressor, but there's no doubt in my mind that it's almost an even fight so far, Grant.
Yeah, I'm giving Cornett just a slight edge, because he's the guy forcing the fight. In this exchange, it's all Miguel Francia, but Cornett coming back after him, and Cornett working very hard underneath.
Scoring well under there was Renato Cornett in that exchange on the slow-mo. Here we go for round 4. Renato Cornett poking out that left. Doesn't find the mark. Over the top goes Renato Cornett. Now underneath. Trying to bring him onto that uppercut. That's obviously the tactics of John Drury now in the blue corner. Every time he bobs, swing one underneath.
That's pretty sound reasoning too, I must say. Because while Francia is very adept at slipping his head, the body is staying there waiting to be hit, and if Cornett's missing with the jab, he should start digging the big ones underneath.
Okay, let's have a look at Gruntley Keys' card after 3 rounds. Renato Cornett 30, Miguel Francia 28 after 3 rounds.
Again, Peter, as you say, it's a very, very close fight. I've given 2 rounds to Cornett, but I'm sure the judges could just as easily score them even, maybe even shading Francia's way. He's certainly putting on a good boxing exhibition, but it's Cornett forcing the issue. It's Cornett picking off all those shots on his gloves, as far as I'm concerned.
Frankly, I want to question the condition of Miguel Francia. I mean, he looks very fit, but a long plane haul from Argentina, and has had a lot of time in the gym here, but he's a journeyman when it comes to boxing. I just think the further the fight goes, the better it'll be for Renato Cornett, who is superbly fit.
Well, Cornett's been preparing for this fight for weeks. He was originally, as we were saying, preparing to fight the world champ, the former world champ Juan Laporte. That was 3 weeks ago now, and Cornett was in heavy preparation before that, so Cornett's probably been training flat out for this fight for 10 weeks. And, I'm certain that he's never been fitter in his career.
Well, he's an awkward customer, the Argentinian, and he certainly is. Miguel Francia crouching and then coming out of a peekaboo style. Right hand, left by Cornett. They're his best punches, Renato Cornett, of the fight.
Such is the skills of Miguel Francia that if Renato Cornett gets through with anything cleanly, it brings this crowd to life. He's a real slick guy, this Miguel Francia, and Cornett is doing well to land. And now it's Francia pouring it on, but Cornett won't be denied. He's coming straight back.
He certainly is, but Francia is all boxer.
They're going to have to watch those heads inside. Again, Cornett nailing him.
Yeah, doing a lot of good work in close, swinging him around and hurling him into referee Johnny Wright. Good right, though, gets through the guard of Cornett from Miguel Francia. Cornett pokes out the left hip, misses.
This is always the danger time for Renato. When the action heats up a little bit, he gets a little cocky, and the blood rushes to his head and the hands come down. So far in this fight, his defence has been superb. Let's hope it stays that way throughout this bout.
Doing a lot of good work in close is Renato Cornett, but the right from underneath is certainly a ploy that the Argentinian is using with great success early in the fight. There's the end of round 4. That was probably Renato Cornett's best round of the fight.
I think so. He got through with a couple of very, very jarring left hands. He landed a good right hand. There he is in the corner with John Drury. Still looking fresh. The face is red, sure enough, but he's still breathing okay, and he still looks like he's ready to keep fighting at this pace for the rest of the bout. Let's just see if we can hear what John's telling him.
Right hand uppercut. Right. Swing that left hook in, mate. Okay? Deep breathe. Never start doing more work, mate. Right, he's getting tired, and he's starting to complain. Right? Right, you get some sticking into him, Renato. Just don't rush in. Don't rush in. Don't rush into anything, all right? I think your punch is a bit better than what they're doing, mate. Go snap, snap, snap. He's fucking ready to go.
Snap, 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 says John Drury, and the advice was similar to what Grantley Keezer said. Don't lose your equilibrium, put a bit more into it, but certainly don't fight without that plenty of caution, because he is a tough customer, Miguel Francia, and this is a very close contest. We're in round 5 of the International Junior Lightweight contest. Renato Cornett of Australia and Miguel Francia of Argentina.
Well, the important thing is really... Francia getting through with a sneak right hand there. The important thing that John Drury said was keep the pressure on, but don't rush in, and that's what Renato Cornett must remember. It's all right that Francia may be starting to tire just a little, and that the Cornett's doing a good job, but he can't lose control and come in with those hands down, because really, this man Francia, that's exactly what he's waiting for.
Okay, there Renato Cornett indicating to the referee that he caught one on the top of the head there, and he looked a bit concerned there. There's a banging right into the rib cage area of Renato Cornett. Plenty of power in that one from Miguel Francia.
See, Francia really using that jab as a rangefinder, really. He's just pouring it out the same way that Roberto Duran often used his left hand, just pouring it out, trying to set up, trying to make Cornett then try and lead back so that he can counterpunch. He's trying to entice Cornett to punch first so that he can come over the top of the right hand, but Cornett isn't falling for it.
Well, Renato Cornett tonight, not as impressive as he was against Thomas de Cruz in his last fight, but I have to say that this fellow, Miguel Francia, is a completely different to Thomas de Cruz.
The reason that Renato isn't landing with the same abandon that he did against Thomas de Cruz is that this guy is a very slick boy.
He certainly is. Did you see the way he spun Renato around there?
Yeah.
As though he was dancing with him, and then was right in front of Cornett. And now
Cornett's got a bad cut.
He has got a cut. There's plenty of blood. There's plenty of blood coming from Renato Cornett from above the left eye. And Cornett now a bloodied mess as Miguel Francia of Argentina. This fight, Grantley Keezer, could be stopped from that cut eye.
Well, it's down the side of Renato's eye, so maybe they can do a good job on it in the corner. I don't know whether that was a punch. I think it may have been a headbutt that's opened that cut eye. So we'll have to see what the referee says after this round, but Renato Cornett knows that he's covered in blood. He can smell it and taste it, and he's pouring on shots, trying to get Francia out of there. But Francia, this is what he's been waiting for all night. Look at Renato going underneath. He's doing everything he can to win this bout, but this is the danger time for Cornett. He's cut and he's hurt, and Francia is sitting on him with that right hand, waiting for him to walk into a big one.
And he got the right through. It's a great round for Miguel Francia, and this fight has turned right around now to favour the Argentinian. And he's certainly gained the ascendancy in round 5. Renato Cornett, tons of courage, we know that. But right at this moment, Renato Cornett is in heaps of trouble, and he goes quickly to his corner. The blue corner, John Drury, rushes into the ring and goes straight to that right eye and starts to work on it. A great round for the visitor from Argentina, Miguel Francia. No doubt he took the honours in that round. And now let's try and have a look at that cut.
Well, there they are, working on trying to close it. Let's hear what they've got to say. There's Dr. Lou Lewis looking at the eye.
It's okay, says Dr. Lou Lewis. There's the cut. Gee, it's a substantial one.
It's a big one, yeah.
Brantley Keezer, can he shut that up?
Well, a good men in the corner. This is a similar cut to the one that Tom West had. Let's see if we can pick anything up on the replay here, Peter. There's they went inside ferociously in an exchange during this round, and I feel that Francia may have stuck his head in and opened that eye. There's the blood coming up now. I feel he may have stuck his head just in the side of Cornett's face.
Okay, halfway through the fight as we go into round 6, and this is really in the melting pot now. Very tough and professional. Argentinian Miguel Francia has got Australia's Renato Cornett in a lot of bother, but they seem to momentarily have stopped the flow of blood. Brantley Keezer.
Yeah, it will only take another big one for it to open up again, though, Peter. It's a little fortunate that it's down by the side of the eye, really. It's not over the brow, and therefore the blood really isn't pouring into Renato's eye.
He's certainly a wily customer. He's gone for it again, and 3 times in this round so far. He's landed right on that cut.
So long as it doesn't impair Renato's vision, I think Dr. Lewis will let the fight continue. It's only when that eye closes up with blood and the fight is really in danger because he can't see the punches coming that fights have tended to be stopped on cuts.
Well, the crowd roaring for Renato Cornett. They realise that the young Australian is backs to the wall here, but he's got a ton of courage. This kid, he's going to use it all up tonight too, because Francia has really stepped up another gear, and he's poking the left now. He's got a target, and he's honing in on it.
Francia has blood all over his neck. It's Renato Cornett's blood. He's certainly spurred on by the side of that cut, but so too is Renato Cornett, because he was in a commanding position in the fight, and now the equilibrium has shifted a little bit, and he's got to do something to get the upper hand again. This is spurring him on to some pretty ferocious stuff inside, I can tell you. I'm glad I'm not there.
He's cutting the Argentinian. Every blow in close is towards that cut, and he is like a surgeon at work. He's just trying to open it up more and have this fight stop.
At times, Francia makes Cornett miss outrageously, but Cornett, to his credit, he's not being fazed by that. He comes straight back, and he just keeps putting pressure on the Argentinian. That's Cornett pouring some shots on now. And Francia, it's Francia getting caught. Oh, big shot from Renato Cornett. Big left hook. Again, Renato Cornett landing the big left hook over the top.
Rod Drury screaming out encouragement in his corner. They want Cornett to go after the Argentinian. They feel as though he may weaken in the final rounds. Renato very cool despite that blood. This is a good performance now from Cornett, and it's going to have to be even a better one to get the decision here tonight. That wobbled in.
Shaken by that left hook.
That wobbled in for sure. A great punch. Renato Cornett going after the Argentinian Miguel Francia. Great round for Renato Cornett. Oh well, we knew the courage that Cornett possessed, and he's shown it all here tonight. Drury saying to go after him. There's the end of a great round for Renato Cornett. A gutsy round to come back after being heaps of trouble in round 5. A tremendous round for Renato Cornett of Australia. And what a fight this is now. 6 rounds down, and it's certainly anyone's fight here tonight at the Bankstown Sportsman's Club. The final to his fight night, the 1989, and what a beauty it is. Referee Johnny Wright in the corner now, and John Lewis has come out of the dressing room now to assist John Drury. John Lewis, one of the best eye men in the business.
Yeah, he's working on that cut forward, John Drury. Let's see what they've got to say.
Put it better that one. Yeah, put it straight in. Straight in. Renato, just watch his hand. When you put his head on that side, maybe into the other side. Put some grease on that, Johnny.
Johnny Lewis realising that Francia is trying to stick his head in on that cut eye as often as he can. Now look at that left hook. That was the big shot. And look at Francia. Those twinkle toes certainly did a little dance when that left hook landed.
Great man, John Lewis. There he is in the corner of John Drury. One day, Renato Cornett may fight Jeff Fenech. That is a possibility. They're both in the same weight division, and they're both great fighters. But, of course, a long way for Renato to go to scale that ladder. But there's Lewis, great Australian. In my book, almost every year one of the Australians of the year for many, many reasons, and just showing again tonight why he is such a marvellous man for boxing. He'll be taking away our amateur team to the Commonwealth Games. Right now, a former amateur star, Renato Cornett, up in the big boys. Let's have a look at Keys' card after 6 rounds. Renato Cornett 69, Miguel Francia 66. It could be a shade closer than that, Grantley.
Well, quite possibly. I had Cornett winning those early rounds. The equilibrium shifted when Francia shook him up in round number 5, but the 6th round, spurred on by his own blood, I felt that Renato was taking the points again.
Okay, Renato has really settled down to his job now. He realises that the eye isn't as bad as it seemed. A lot of claret out of it, and plenty of it too, on the blue shirt of referee John Wright. But he's a tough customer, the visitor from Argentina, Miguel Francia. He's in there mixing it blow for blow with Renato Cornett. Cornett gaining in confidence, though, missing over the top with a windy whoop.
Every fight that Cornett has that excitement, because Cornett is just such a determined, he's just such a determined competitor, and as you say, he's not afraid to take a chance.
He's certainly not. He's starting to seemingly gain the ascendancy.
Well, he's lost a couple of pints of blood so far in this fight, but it hasn't weakened him in any way. He's still pouring it on against Francia.
I think Francia thought he had him, and then went after him, landed some good blows, and found Renato Cornett standing right there with plenty of venom in his punches still. Left and right by Cornett. The heads certainly moving in close there. Keep him up, says referee John Wright to Renato Cornett. The claret comes out again. Long flat red coming out of the left eye of Renato Cornett, or above the left eye. Oh, the head goes down from Francia, and referee Johnny Lewis, John Wright, warning the Argentinian there.
John Lewis over in the corner, concerned look on his face, but I think they'd be pretty pleased with the job that Renato Cornett's done so far in this fight.
We're in round 7. What a tremendous contest this has been for boxing fans right around the nation on Sky. And are you loving this one? And it's been a great 1989. Tui's proud sponsors of our Tui's Fight Nights have certainly come up with another good one tonight. And there's the end of round 7. And Renato Cornett of Australia certainly having a tough job getting away from this very cunning Argentinian Miguel Francia.
He's cunning, and he's clever, and he's quick, and he's putting on a great boxing exhibition, but it's Renato Cornett that's throwing the meaningful punches as far as I'm concerned. There's Johnny Lewis talking to Renato in the corner. Let's see if we can hear what he's saying.
That's it, that's good, boy. Now listen, mate, okay? Listen, you've got to put it in there, mate, okay? You're going a lot better than this. Jab, jab, jab. Keep snapping that jab at him all the time, okay? Mate, he's a sucker for the left hook. Right? Use it on him, okay? Use it on him, mate. There's no problem with him, okay? Use that left hook.
They're very confident, John Drury and John Lewis, saying, listen to Johnny, listen to Johnny. He's your trainer, and Lewis is just there for that eye and for some expert advice too. The Australian trainers working together. John Drury certainly has done a marvellous job with conditioning Renato Cornett.
John Drury saying that Miguel Francia is a sucker for a left hook, and after that great 6th round, where Renato really shook him up twice with the left hook, you'd have to agree. I think Francia is a little... has
little tired, a little bewildered.
Yeah. And there's cheering for Cornett behind us now. The chance going up, Cornett. They can sense yet another impressive victory for this guy from Minchinbury on the outskirts of Sydney. Has a young family to support.
This would be a great win if he can pull it off, because this guy can fight. He's tough, he's cunning, he's very experienced, and he's not an over-the-hill fighter. He can certainly fight Miguel Francia. His record says it, and his performance tonight. He's worried the life out of Renato Cornett, but Cornett is very calm tonight. None of that effervescent going over the edge fighting for Renato tonight. Not even when the claret was flowing.
That's exactly right, Peter. You could have expected Renato, or you could have excused him, really, if he'd started to panic when that blood was streaming down his face, but he remained composed, he kept the hands high, he didn't let too many come through. It was Francia trying to stick the head in constantly, which he's still trying to do. He's still trying to land that head on that cut eye. But Renato is a wake-up to him. He's moving the head out of those exchanges.
Well, Renato Cornett, in my book, has won the last 2 rounds, but this round is certainly showing a return to something like what we saw earlier from Miguel Francia. He's trying to bring Cornett on to that uppercut that he throws from way down low.
But Cornett still remaining very, very tight with his defence. This has been a ferocious fight all the way through, and the action's not letting up in this round.
No, Renato Cornett off balance there, and Miguel Francia not loading up with his punches as he was earlier in the fight. Why not? We're into the 8th round now, and the pressure has been relentless. Francia doesn't move away from centre ring, though. He's not dancing anymore. He's there to fight, and he's meeting Renato Cornett's onslaught.
It's really a battle of attrition going on inside.
Oh, the heads clashed again there, Grantley.
Yeah. And as their heads clashed, Cornett was really trying to establish just that he was the stronger man inside. He was trying to force the Argentinian back, but Francia wouldn't go.
Tremendous fight this one. Gee, the fans have got their money's worth tonight on Chewy's Fight Night on Sky Channel. There's a warning headbutt.
John Wright telling them to watch their heads. Both guys trying to stick their heads in. It's Francia trying to work on that cut eye with the top of his head.
Geez, he's coming. He just smiled at Cornett there, touched gloves, and then let one fly.
He hails from Buenos Aires, but he certainly knows
wanted to smoke this peace pipe and then rip straight into the action.
He comes from Buenos Aires, but he knows what the Liverpool kiss is, I can tell you. He's been sticking that head in all the way through, and it's Cornett pouring on the pressure again. Again, Francia sticking the head in.
Cornett hurt him with a short left there. The head went back of Miguel Francia. Again, the blood coming out of that left eye of Renato Cornett. But there's the end of another good round, round 8.
And Miguel Francia walking back to his corner with a big smile on his face. He's like a rubber man, this guy. He just bends at the waist. His neck is, it's like it's on an elastic band. He gets hit and he comes straight back.
Okay, 9 and 10 to go, and what a fight it's been. Tremendous contest, this one, here at the Bankstown Sports Club, and a lot of work going on over in the corner of Renato Cornett. There's some water and being poured over the face now of the Argentinian Miguel Francia. Facially, he's come out of this fight a lot better than has Renato Cornett. They are working overtime. OT on this man, Renato Cornett.
Let's see what Johnny Lewis is working on that cut eye still, trying to stem the flow of blood. Let's see if we can pick up just what Miguel Francia is trying to do inside. He's working at long range there. You can see him trying to lift that head into the head of Renato Cornett, trying to work on that eye. There's Francia getting through with a short right hand there. Cornett coming straight back on him, but Francia bending at the waist.
Well, it's a very, very close fight, and it's going to be these final 2 rounds that'll decide it. Grantley Keezer, 9 and 10 coming up for Miguel Francia and Renato Cornett.
Well, Renato Cornett certainly on my scorecard dominated the first half of the fight.
After what went on earlier tonight, how could you be so sure?
Well, that's right. Boxing is full of close decisions, and we've seen funny decisions involving, from our perspective, involving Renato Cornett, but I still feel that he's in a commanding position in this fight. I feel that he's really thrown the more effective punches in the bout. Even though it's his face that's cut, it's been him that's been shedding the blood, I still feel that he's been the guy putting all the pressure on for most of the fight.
Okay. Wow, good left there from Renato Cornett. This is another wild barroom brawl round, this one. It's pretty tough in close, and the Argentinian giving as good as he's getting from the Australian Renato Cornett.
Renato Cornett. He started to push Francia's face away with the heel of the glove, and then he just brought him onto a little left hook. Miguel Francia trying to bull him with the shoulder.
Yeah, that head is moving everywhere, particularly around that left eye area of Renato Cornett. Good right there underneath from the Argentinian, and right again he puts his head right on that cut of Renato Cornett.
Big uppercut by Francia. It's a funny thing when Francia goes in close, his head just happens to always land on the same spot near Cornett's cut eye.
Currently this is a good round for the Argentinian. He scored well underneath.
He's landed some good shots. He's nailing Cornett. Good uppercuts inside, but Cornett still coming back.
He's going to throw the fight into the melting pot if Francia can take this round.
Francia trying to pull Cornett around with the shoulders. Bringing him onto the big uppercut again.
Yeah, right on the eye. That one. Renato walked right into it. This is a tremendous round.
Cornett.
Tremendous round for the Argentinian. Renato rocked him with a right to left there. Coming back strongly, and he needs to. In the dying moments of round 9.
Oh.
Again, the uppercut from Francia is a good scoring punch. Over the top with a right again. And Renato Cornett goes underneath.
Cornett trying to work underneath, but Francia bringing up the big uppercut as you pick, Peter. He's just trying to bring on to that big uppercut all the way through. Cornett trying to lift the work rate, but he's also pretty tired. He's thrown a lot of punches in this fight. This man, Francia, has been so tricky and very, very dangerous and cunning all the way through.
Well, underneath the left eye now is swelling for Renato Cornett. He looks a battered and bloodied mess at the moment. And this is the final moments of round 9. I feel this fight is in the melting pot. This is a great round from Francia. He's taken the round, no doubt, in my book. And there's a right to the side of the face of Renato Cornett.
John Drew, a face of concern in the corner. I think he feels the same way as you do, Peter. Miguel Francia has stolen the points in this round. Renato Cornett in the closing stages has to do more.
Well, he certainly does. What a fight this has been. And we're coming up to the final round now. The 10th and final round. Grantley, Giza, what a war.
Oh, it's been a fantastic fight, Peter. I've got Renato Cornett 2 points in front, but the judges may have it closer than that. Certainly, in some of those early rounds that I was giving to Cornett, they may have had them even. They may have been given them to Francia. This fight is a close one to call as far as I'm concerned. And I just hope Renato Cornett can come out in round number 10 and fight big. They're telling him in the corner to treat it like a world title. You've got 1 round to go. Give it everything you've got. And well, he might, because really a world title fight for Renato Cornett is hinging on what he can do in round number 10.
Okay, here's a replay of a great round for Miguel Francia. They must think they're in this fight with a chance. I make Renato maybe a point in front going into the last round, Grantley.
I've got him two in front. You see Renato trying to force the action there. Francia bringing the uppercuts underneath. Renato forcing the pace, but inside. This man Francia started to bull Cornett around in that round a little bit. He started to push him around. You see Cornett trying to bring the head up onto Francia's face.
Okay, a late start to this round because they're taping up the right glove of Francia. Let's just give him another 30 seconds. He keeps smiling at Cornett. How these two can smile at each other after what they've gone through, I'll never know.
That's the smile to say, come on, give it everything you've got because I'm ready for it. This man, Miguel Francia, very, very cocky. He's been cunning all the way through. Has he got something left in round number 10? I hope not. I hope that Renato Cornett can steal this round and get the decision. On my card, he only has to stay in there with a chance in this round and he gets the decision. But the fight may be closer than that.
Yes, it could hinge on this final round. It could very well hinge on this round. Both boxers, I presume, would know it. They've both been in a real war here tonight at the Bankstown Sports Club. Renato Cornett, is there any juice left in the young Australian?
He's doing his best to push Francia around in close, trying to reassert his authority. The 9th round was a good one for Francia. Both guys feeling very, very tired.
Yeah, they certainly are, and who can blame them? This is a tremendous contest. Miguel Francia and Renato Cornett, and again the tape is loose from the right glove of Miguel Francia.
Well, I think they are stalling for time. I think they may have loosened that to give this man Francia. Oh, Renato, there's the jab straight up and the hook. He's going for it now. John Drury said he was the sucker for the left hook, and Renato tried to nail him with a big one straight away, but Francia is still there.
He certainly loaded up on that one as they're in the final round now. Let's have a look at Grantley Keys' card. After 9 rounds, Cornett 98, Francia 96. And it's certainly an exciting contest here on our final moments for 1989 on Sky Channel. What a year it's been and what a fight this one has been. Renato Cornett of Australia. Can he pull it out of the fire in the final round or just keep his nose in front?
Well, John Drury imploring Renato to move up and throw the big shots. He's saying throw some big stuff underneath because Francia looks very, very tired, but he's hanging in there and he's very elusive.
There he's tied Francia, but again he comes underneath. So is Renato Cornett, and who can blame them? Two very fit boxers giving their all tonight.
It's Renato Cornett trying to force the issue in these closing stages of this 10th round. He's trying to to really reassert it and get the points to make sure of this fight. But Francia is always dangerous.
There he certainly is. Renato Cornett, good right there. The heads clash again, but this fight won't be stopped now. Renato trying to get the arms free, but he's a wily customer, the Argentinian. Right there from and good right underneath there. Certainly scoring up that one was Miguel Francia. There's only about 35 seconds left in the fight.
John Drury screaming for Renato Cornett to finish big, and he must finish big to be absolutely certain. Trying to push Miguel Francia down there, but this man is slippery, this Francia. Renato Cornett's got to pour on the big shots to make sure. I think he can still get the decision, but it'd be nice to see him finish big, but he is very, very tired. Both guys
Renato not moving there, not doing enough work in this final round, and both boxers very tired. Underneath goes Cornett. There's the end of the fight. Great fight, that one. And what a tremendous contest between Renato Cornett of Australia and Miguel Francia of Argentina. And what a contest here tonight at the Bankstown Sports Club. There is Miguel Francia is fairly confident of getting this one. Out comes the mouth guard, waving to the crowd, blowing kisses to the crowd and bowing. And he certainly has lost no fans amongst this very good crowd. Neither's that man, Renato Cornett. He thinks he's won the fight too. I'm not sticking my head into it after the decision in the earlier fight tonight. But what a great contest, and we'll stand by for the judge's decision, Gruntley Keyser.
Well, at the end of that round, Peter, I had an extra 10 on for each guy. My card should have been 88-86. I've got Renato Cornett winning the fight 98-95. Certainly, Miguel Francia really was a slippery customer all the way through.